August 25th, 1835. The morning edition of the Sun newspaper hit the newsstands of New York City. But this seemingly ordinary day would mark the birth of one of the most audacious and infamous hoaxes in publishing history. As New Yorkers eagerly unfurled the broadsheets, their eyes were instantly drawn to the breathtaking illustrations, vivid etchings depicting a lunar landscape teeming with bizarre life forms, looming trees, herds of bison-like creatures, and the spindly figures of bat-human hybrids, grasping celestial harp-like instruments. The accompanying article made an incredible claim: the latest discoveries of Sir John Herschel, the famous astronomer who had trained his powerful new telescope on the moon and observed this strange Lunarian civilization firsthand. The news set the city ablaze with a frenzy of wonder, skepticism, and debate. For the outrageous tale spun by the plucky New York Sun was not truth, but an elaborate work of fiction conceived by its brash 26-year-old editor, a hoax that would captivate the public's imagination and expose the gullibility of the masses. People will believe anything these days as long as it's packaged with just the right balance of scientific jargon and juicy details, mused Richard Adams Locke, the Sun's chief editor and architect of the hoax. Locke's motivations were part mischief, part entrepreneurial desperation. The previous year, he had taken over the scrappy New York Sun, one of the city's first widely circulated penny press papers. Locked in fierce competition with the city's established broadsheets, Locke knew he needed a sensational story to sell copies. The promise of life on the moon. Now there was an enticing tale that a Bible-fearing public might just swallow hook, line and sinker, Locke thought with a devilish grin. Over 6 successive days of published reports, Locke spun an intricate yarn facilitated by unwitting scientific accomplices. The articles purported to be reprints translated from the Edinburgh Journal of Science, detailing Sir John Herschel's pioneering telescope observations from rural Cape Town, South Africa. All eyes will be trained upon the moon with my newly invented telescope, surpassing anything the world has yet seen, Locke's florid prose proclaimed in the first installment on that fateful August 25th. Its enormous light-gathering power has enabled us to view those hidden realms in exquisite detail. Through it, we first described transcripts of semi-civilized existence on the moon's surface. Strange furrow-like trenches, unmistakable signs of horticultural cultivation. Then, vague animal forms unlike any in the natural history. Soon after, the accounts related ever more astonishing discoveries through Sir John's prodigious telescope. As the world's foremost astronomer peered across the 239,000-mile gulf, exotic floras and faunas were laid bare with uncanny visual clarity. Stout creatures resembling Norfolk Terrier, breeds and herds of shaggy celestial goats that carried themselves with an air of philosophic dignity. Mobile plants that folded and recoiled as if conscious, and sapient bipedal batmen frantically plucking on harps of hollowed hyacinth fibers. We judged these lunar inhabitants to possess exquisite taste for music, the article declared in antique grammatical form. They appeared to make it the serious occupation of their lives. Locke's fabricated elucidations struck the perfect chords, tantalizing threads of scientific scripture intermixed with enough flourish to fire imaginations. The city's educated high society basked in self-affirming validation that privileged minds might glimpse wonders unseen by the masses. Meanwhile, common folk and religious purists were enthralled by the apparent cosmic endorsement of divine creation's majesty spun in Locke's flowery biblical prose. The localized observations, lifted from Johannes Kepler's lunar writings centuries prior, only bolstered the false account's plausibility. Soon, the moon hoax dispatches were being reprinted in papers worldwide. By summer's end, an astounding 60,000 copies were selling each day from the Sun offices, a new publishing world record, all for a story that had sprung entirely from Locke's facile mind. The gig was bound to be up once prominent academics and other esteemed observatories inevitably denounced the preposterous claims. Sure enough, by the end of August, harsh public rebuttals from Yale and Cambridge doused the Lunarian firestorm. But the damage had been done. Now the Sun's young editor had cemented the paper's notoriety as an outrageous rag lacking credibility. Locke and his collaborators continually dodged accusations of fraud and lawsuits. Harvard College even issued a mock editorial indicting the journalists for crimes against public wisdom. Yet rather than wither, Locke reveled in the moon hoax's infamy. In these modern times of industrial distraction, the masses will eagerly gobble up any wondrous claims presented with a veneer of authority, he'd remark unrepentantly. Indeed, the stunt's success exposed just how lackadaisical fact-checking and submission to scientific dogma had become in journalism and academy by 1835. After all, Herschel himself was over a month's sail away in Africa during the hoax's run. Rendering the falsehoods trivial to debunk had more diligence been applied. In years after, the New York Sun would earn new respect as it transitioned into a legitimate city paper. But Locke's enduring legacy was cemented. The Great Moon Hoax had proven the media's capability to dupe the public wholesale with precisely plucked fraudulence. That's a wrap, folks. Now it's your turn. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Don't forget to check out the previous episode and get ready for the next epic one. The links are in the description for more info. See you in the next video.